Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Outlaws and Gunslingers. With your
slinging
hosts,
the guns.
Bang and Dang, back for another episode, and back for some more murders, and back for some more crimes, and back for another robbery. And
You notice how these cases are getting solved and these people are getting convicted?
That's kind of what happens. And
Because there's no FBI.
well, this one there might be. I'm not sure, but this is an armored car robbery.
And the one with the FBI was the kidnapping of the baby.
Yeah, but they only came in
because they thought it was
right
out of state and they still couldn't do anything.
Well, that was the one that was weird at the end.
Right, that was a guy, yeah.
Yeah, we have a armored car robbery today, 1977. This occurred in Arizona. Haven't had a bank or an armored car robbery here in a while. So
I think we ever had an armored car robbery at all.
Yeah, we had the Brinks armored car robbery
that's
thing.
right. That's right.
1977 took place on Interstate 17, in which the two guards of the car were murdered.
Oh.
The robbery was committed by brothers Michael Kent Poland and Patrick Gene Poland. May 24th, 1977, guards Russell Dempsey and Cecil Newkirk were on duty for Purolator Courier. They were driving along I-17 when a vehicle they believed was a police car pulled them over. After pulling over, they were ordered by the men they believed were police officers to open the truck, after which the Poland brothers took over.
How would they know?
The drivers of the security van were bundled into bags, and dumped into Lake Mead. I wonder if they're going to find them now that the water's going down, or if they might have already done it. But the brothers had claimed that one guard died of a heart attack, so they had to kill the other. They ended up netting 228 G's during this robbery, which in 1977 is a pretty good little haul.
I was going to say. The investigation first focused on the two missing couriers. Both were ruled out as suspects when their wives reported that they had no financial problems, and their employer reported that each of the couriers had faithfully worked for the company for over 20 years. That don't mean nothing.
Right. The first thing they thought was, these mother effers.
Right.
They done took our money.
Mm-hmm. The van was eventually found in a remote desert near the town of Bumblebee,
Arizona.
though the couriers were not there. Blood was found in the back of the van along with several $1,000s in coins. Why would you not take
it? Because you ain't got time to cash all those in.
I don't care. It's still money.
They just got 228,000.
Yeah, but it's
don't be a Walter White and be greedy.
Yeah, but several thousand, you can every once in a while take some coins in.
And they're probably rare coins, brand new, so they knew when they were issued. And
Whatever. That's why you go to casino. Back then, you were still used quarters.
Casinos were natural money launderers, that's for sure.
Damn right. The truck's doors were left locked until a spare set of keys were brought to unlock them. Upon examination, it was discovered that the vehicle's radio was found to be left on, but no distress calls were received by the base. Also, the van's siren had not been tripped, and an unfired shotgun was found in the back. $293,000 worth of paper currency, gone.
Well, okay, two different numbers already.
Yeah.
After the discovery, the FBI had local news agencies make the news public.
Uh-oh.
Several motorists called in reporting that they saw the van stopped on the northbound side of Interstate 17 on the morning of May 24th, exactly the same date when the guards were reported missing. One motorist said he saw a pair of Arizona Department of Public Safety officers walking towards the van, and other witnesses had similar stories, but in their accounts, the make and model of the officer's car varied, while others claimed to have seen the police cruiser stopped in front of the armored van.
Oh.
Either or, they seen a police cruiser, right?
Maybe they were behind him at first and then got in front of him.
Could have.
Moved around. I don't
Maybe
know.
they stopped in front of him first.
I don't know what kind of vehicle they had. They probably had like a Crown Vic or a
77, probably.
what were they running, Buicks?
Who knows?
I think they were just Crown Vics mostly. Then they had the Caprices then yet. Maybe 77, yeah. They're starting to get to the box style that year.
Crown Vic or a Pontiac.
Pontiac, you know. After checking with the Arizona Department of Public Safety, they learned that none of their officers remembered stopping an armored van on I-17 on 24th of May. It's like, no, we ain't got no recollection of that, boys.
No.
So the assumption was made, so whoever the officers were, they were masquerading as fake officers.
Obviously.
Several motorists underwent hypnosis to provide detail of that officer to a sketch artist. But there were different results, obviously.
One would almost say that that's not going to be admissible in court anyways.
Right. Mojave County Sheriff Deputy Dale Lent, FBI agents also, they processed the spot where the armored car was believed to have been spotted.
Or stop it.
Right. Stopped. Mojave County Sheriff's Deputy Dale Lent and FBI agents processed the spot where the armored vehicle was believed to have been stopped. Digs and gouges in the dirt indicated that there had been a struggle near the rear of the van. In addition, tire tracks from a second vehicle were found, consistent with the tire tracks found in the remote area near where the armored van had been abandoned. However, those same tracks were also found in front of where the van had been pulled over. In front, see, so there was a car. They did pull over in front. They were in back and then in front.
Yeah.
So those people that were...
Well, they probably might have pulled the other one in front after the guys were subdued and said, follow me. Right?
Right.
June 16th, 1977, 300 miles northwest of where the armored van had been abandoned, a body in a black canvas bag was discovered in Debbie's Cove in Lake Mead by a pair of anglers.
300 miles.
The men contacted the National Park Service, who sped to the scene along with investigators and local officers. After recovering the body, a wallet was found in the back pocket, and the victim was identified as Cecil Newkirk.
Oh, man.
One of the two missing courier guards.
I guess.
Continuing the search, found no sign of the second courier. The guard's personal effects were removed, including his self-winding watch, which stopped working at 10:30. Oh, they were removed, but in the bag, I guess. Right. It stopped working at 10:37 p.m. on May 26th. That lasted a minute.
Huh? Right. There's no way. We have no way of knowing.
Well, it stopped 2 days later.
Right. Right.
So until water eventually got in or something, I guess.
Eventually got in, eh? Cool. I want to know what that make of that watch.
Right.
Subsequent autopsy indicated that the guard found had been severely beaten. 2 large welts consistent with those inflicted by a high-voltage taser gun.
Oh, jeez.
The location of the body indicated a boat was used. So agents collected boat rental receipts to check for names. Uh-oh.
I didn't know it was rented.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the first place you can do. There in the next few weeks, FBI agents canvassed area service stations until one station owner reported his suspicions. He had towed a pickup truck, which had inadvertently backed into the lake, from a boat ramp named Bonnelly Landing at Lake Mead the day after the robbery for 2 men who claimed to be fishing. He was like,
Well, that's their first ignorant mistake. Why even call it in?
Right.
Though there did not seem to be any fishing equipment in the back, there were drag marks in the bed of the vehicle. The receipt for the towing had the signature of a Michael Poland. Oh, jeez. An exhaustive search of boat rental receipts turned up one which had his name for a rental for a boat to Benelli Landing, where the pickup had been towed. Agents returned to Lake Mead, and after searching between Benelli Landing and the boat rental shop across the shore, Russell Dempsey's body was recovered along a garret made of 2 pieces of wood and rope, and a second black canvas bag nearby containing a blanket and a tarp.
Dude.
Why didn't they put anything to weigh him down?
I mean, they left a paper trail. I don't understand. I think they're thinking is, hey, we just got to act normal, No, not at all. Because if there wasn't that paper trail, they probably wouldn't even found your ass.
Or they could have just weighed the bags down and let them float like idiots.
Autopsy conducted revealed that he had suffered a heart attack and had been strangled also. Well, he died of the heart attack, probably. Well, maybe not.
Heart attack while being strangled,
right.
Maybe?
A hair sample from the garret confirmed it was used to strangle him. Oh, okay. An intensified search yielded a 3rd canvas bag, similar to the first few bags used to cover the courier's guard's corpse, which contained 2 corroded revolvers, concrete dust caked in the weave of the bag, and more crucially, a license plate similar to the ones used on Arizona Department of Public Safety cruisers. Oh, they took a license plate. The service station owner identified Michael Poland in a picture lineup.
Well, these guys are already idiots because they dumped all their evidence in the same damn place. Jeez, never seen a freaking movie? Well, I guess it's 77. Investigators eventually located Michael Poland, and they observed he did not appear gainfully employed, but he had recently purchased a new motorcycle.
Where are they?
Arizona.
You know how many open desert?
Right. Investigators identified a man who frequently
Pick a
visited.
spot and dig a hole.
Right. Anywhere. Investigators identified a man who frequently visited as Michael's younger brother, Patrick. He had just bought a new car. Michael's teenage son told him that his father had recently bought 2 motorcycles and a lot more.
Oh, shit.
Well, talking to the son, huh? Further investigation revealed that both brothers were in financial trouble, but after the robbery, their debts had been paid completely, and they had purchased new vehicles, spending money beyond their legal means.
Look at that.
Yeah, you can't be doing that, guy.
At least they paid off their debts.
I mean, I guess, but come on. Everybody knows.
That's the problem, too.
Everybody knows you don't be flashy about it.
And they probably know these dudes had no money, and they're like, damn, did you see Michael over there? Is his name?
Yeah.
Got a motorcycle?
Hey, Patrick just rolled up in a brand new car.
Holy shit. I just seen the kids on new bikes. They got a new basketball rim.
New jeans.
They invited us over for a barbecue next week, and they never even had a grill.
I think they're cooking steak.
Right, I think it's a pool party. What?
In-ground pool and shit.
Something about satellite television, too? The Poland brothers' father said that both brothers had showed up and wanted to borrow his truck and a tarp on that very day of the robbery, and that the brothers gave him a new tarp, saying the old one got ruined when they returned the truck. Like, hey, man, I wouldn't even said anything. I'm like, yeah, tarp's in the back of the truck. The father also mixed concrete in the bed several weeks before the heist. Examination revealed that this was the same batch of concrete that left the dust stuck in the canvas bag recovered at Lake Mead. Oh, man, it's just bad news bears all around, boys. However, the station owner could not positively identify Patrick Rowland or Poland, but he did confirm that their father's pickup truck was the one he towed from the Benelli landing.
Right. July 27th, 77. Agents arrived at Michael Poland's house with a search warrant, but he claimed that on that day of the heist, he was in Las Vegas buying jewels. Okay. What? Several gems and $12,000 in cash were found, and Michael claimed that they were for his jewel business. 2 handcuff cases, a law enforcement belt, and a siren were also found.
Oh, you morons. Why would you still have that?
This is legitimately months after.
Why would you still have that shit?
Right?
I mean, if you're going to have it, not right around it. Rah.
When was it?
May 24th.
May, June. Yeah, so this is 2 months after, and he still got this shit? It has to be known that
They found that in his vehicle?
in the house.
Oh, in his house.
Several receipts were confiscated, including a receipt for 2 taser guns sold 1 month before the robbery,
goodness, you freak.
as well as law enforcement gear. Who keeps receipts?
These guys are morons. Where's the receipts for that stuff we bought, man? I got to write that shit off.
So dumb.
Business expenses.
Yeah.
Wow.
So dumb.
However, when Patrick Poland was asked regarding the robbery, he said they were at Lake Mead fishing, but had difficulty answering other questions. They're like, yeah, we were there fishing. What about this? Deep bop. No English.
Well, you cop, you tell me.
Right. His brother Michael later called him to tell him to not talk to investigators.
You think?
He's like, you don't say shit, boy.
Hey, these are the dumbest set of brothers in the world.
He was like, what'd you tell him? Well, I told him we were at Lake Mead fishing. No, you son
Dumbest set of brothers
bitch.
in the world, because you would think after they did the crime, right after they did it, like, hey, man, if we ever get in question for this, you don't talk.
They're probably talking to Michael at the same time. Michael's like, I've never been to Lake Mead.
Michael just said he was in Vegas.
Right.
And then Patrick told him they were actually
Right.
fishing at Lake Mead. The guys are idiots, dude. Stupid.
A search of Patrick's house yielded a stash of weapons, $16,000 in cash, another siren, and another belt with a space for a badge.
Jeez.
After much investigation, it was revealed that neither of the cars the brothers owned before the robbery left the tire tracks found near the crime scene. They're like, none of these.
Well,
cars
there's
are.
the first smart thing they've done. Jeez.
The clerk of the gun store who sold the tasers to a guy could only remember he was a white male in his 20s. He was like, I don't know. It's just a white guy, and he was probably in his 20s.
Okay. 10 months of surveillance on the brothers revealed the brothers closing a deal on a gaming arcade, but there was insufficient evidence for an arrest warrant, so agents focused on determining where the black canvas bags came from.
Dude, it took them 10 months to just watch these guys. They had all
Man,
the
they gotta build
information.
the case, man.
They got it.
Because they have a siren and stuff doesn't mean they did it. You don't know where that came from. Maybe they like to play cops or something.
Right.
That paid off when one. Well, you're still not supposed to impersonate cops, but
Right.
you know that paid off when one store owner recognized the bags as coming from his company and the special cord, which came from a company in Georgia.
Georgia?
The owner gave receipts he had left from years of business, and after much searching, a receipt for 3 custom-sized black canvas bags was found to have been sold to a Mark Harris, similar to the taser receipt found during a search of Michael Poland's home months earlier.
Really?
Which convinced agents that Mark Harris was an alias for Michael Poland.
Well, no shit.
And that clerk of the gun store sold to a Mark Harris,
All right.
obviously.
It's fair.
But you could only remember him as a white male, so.
May 18th, 1978.
But they used the real name for the freaking tow truck company.
That don't
That's
make
an
no-
idiot.
Yeah, we don't know here yet. Let's see. 18th of May, 1978. A year nearly of investigations. A federal grand jury returned an indictment
Indictment!
against the Poland Bros for robbery, kidnapping, and
Murder.
However, FBI agents suspected that both brothers would not surrender quietly, so they decided to arrest them away from their homes, fearing a shootout. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael Poland went to a real estate office while Patrick went to the game arcade. Patrick Poland reached the arcade, the FBI arrest team tried to nab him before he entered the building.
Well, lucky for them, he surrendered without a fight, and they later found a stash of weapons in his car, including a .44 Magnum gun. Eventually, despite the risks, the second team entered the real estate office and arrested Michael Poland uneventfully.
Did these dudes think that they're like some small town gangsters, or are they working for somebody?
Who knows? However, he refused to answer questions and insisted his brother do the same. No fingerprints linked him to the murder guards or the armored car.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, what do they got on him?
Uh-oh. Everything else.
What?
But the most important. But
Exactly.
State and federal prosecutors split the charges, and the Poland brothers went on trial for robbery and kidnapping in federal court on 15th February, 1979. They were found guilty on those charges based on the circumstantial evidence alone, and were sentenced to one hundo in prison.
Wow.
Jeez. November 1979, an Arizona state jury returned the guilty verdict for Moida, and that meant the death penalty for both of them. But they appealed their convictions. Obviously, I would. I mean, whoa, wait.
Right.
The Arizona Supreme Court found that the testimony of a hypnotized witness and the taser gun evidence should not have
Didn't I say that earlier?
used.
The hypnotized shit shouldn't even be admissible.
No, it's not.
They also found out that the jury had inappropriately discussed the federal trial, and that meant their murder convictions were overturned, and parole laws at the time meant they would be eligible for parole in less than 7 years.
What?
1982, an Arizona prosecutor declined a retrial for the brothers due to costs and evidence already excluded by the Arizona Supreme Court. U.S. Attorney Melvin McDonald, outraged that the Poland brothers would possibly get away with murder, was deputized as an Arizona state prosecutor. He's like,
he's got a mission.
Right.
So now these boys are
Well,
like,
see,
all right.
this is now you can't be doing that.
Now these boys went from like a hundo to 7 years. I can do that.
Right. But come on, this guy's got a grudge. You can't just be going after something. It's in a law against like
Double jeopardy and all that.
profiling or trying to.
This case was already
Stupid.
I mean, come on. Mistrials and all
Yeah,
that.
but you can still appeal
Right.
the charges or the sentence. You got a certain amount of time, don't you?
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure you can do that anytime. In spite of evidence difficulties, prosecutors decided to try to determine the time the victims had been deposited in the Lake Mead.
Oh, because they didn't do that the first time?
Right. And then prove that it was the same time that the Polands were at the lake. They're like, we got to figure out how
Right.
look, it's the first line of the autopsy report. Drowned at probably about this time.
Right. Right. Well, not drowned because they were already dead.
Right. Oh, so.
Right. How would you know?
Well, I guess they can tell by body tissue how long he's been in the water.
You think he just
Actually, no, they're in bags.
say, was the bags waterproof? I doubt
Right.
it. But,
Remember how that watch lasted for, 2 days?
yeah, but the bags weren't waterproof. There's no way there'd zipper on them. No way that they're fucking waterproof.
Enough. After much pondering, a crucial piece of evidence.
Because I'm willing to bet the body, they had to have sunk at least for a minute until the air bloated up the bodies and rose them back up to the top. It's usually what happens with dead bodies.
Right.
So,
Very possible. After much pondering, a crucial piece of evidence was found in the form of Cecil Newkirk's self-winding watch,
hey.
which stopped working at 10:37 p.m. on the 26th of May, 1977. That particular watch would stop working if it were not moved for 12 hours.
Okay.
I mean, if it were not moved for 12 hours.
Right. I mean, you don't move your arm or anything like that. Doesn't
Really?
detect movement.
1977?
I guess.
Wow. Which meant that the watch stopped working 12 hours after the deceased guard's arm came to rest at the bottom of Lake Mead.
I'm going to tell you. They was still working underwater, though. Sweet.
Dude had a hell of a watch.
Right.
The dude was probably dripping. Drip. Drip, 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 drip. But to prove it, they actually had watch experts from Switzerland examine and determined that the watch did not stop due to water damage.
Nice. Look at these guys, huh? They're like, yeah. Forensic experts used this evidence to estimate when the bodies had been dumped into the water. Their estimation exactly matched the time the FBI had established that the Polands were at the lake.
Did they give them the time frames when people were around, or did they say, hey, this is when they were reported missing? Because that's important, too. Because they'd be like, you know what? Just go along with the story. You know what I mean?
Well, no.
Well, no.
Because if the watch stopped at 10:37 p.m., that means it stopped working 10:37 a.m. the previous day, or that day, which means that he was dumped in that time. Because the body would have floated down and then came to a rest at the bottom.
Right.
So, And they say this is about the time the FBI established that the Polands were at the lake getting their pickup towed from Benelli Landing.
Uh-oh.
Prosecutor explained that the Polands had indeed been there to dump the bodies, and that convinced the jury to return the guilty verdict for murder for Michael and Patty on November 18, 1982.
Uh-oh. Are they going to finally get what they deserve?
Well, the defendants appealed again, but this time the United States Supreme Court affirmed the death sentences for the Polands.
Oh, shit. They thought they were going to 7 years. Now
This
it's
ain't
dead.
They're like, no, Jeffrey McDonald's already across country trying to do this shit with his murder case. We're not doing it with you guys too.
1997. Dang, another 20 years they
Yeah,
get to
man.
live.
Dude, that's all they do.
That's
It's just-
garbage.
Justice system is
Stupidity.
it's weird.
Yeah, but yet they murder those one guys like instantly.
The ones from
The baby snatchers.
Oh right.
They-
that was like a month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the shootout dude,
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
Floyd or whatever.
Yeah.
They
Got his
put them
ass
to death in like
quick.
2 months or something.
All right. So these guys spent 20 years in prison. The brothers brought separate cases against the state of Arizona. This is in 1997, stating that they had not been informed that their conduct could result in the death penalty, which was rejected by the judge.
Are they trying to say nobody ever in my life told me that murder would result in a death penalty?
If we would have known that,
Saying they had not been informed, or they're trying to say that the court said one of your possible penalties could be death.
Right.
And they're trying to say maybe they would have took the legal thing a different way.
Right.
I don't know.
Coulda
That's
have it.
stupid, I guess. But
1998, Michael Poland's lawyers argued that he could not be executed because he had to complete his federal sentence first, which was due to finish in 2045. What?
oh shit,
Really? Can you do that?
I guess
Because they got sentenced
I
before.
think federal always over trumps
Right.
state shit anyway.
Because
so.
they got convicted
yeah.
for the other stuff.
True. 1997, Michael Poland's cell on death row was searched and found to include an escape plan, handcuff keys, a suicide drug, several knives, and a lockpick.
Oh shit!
The plan was foiled when he offered $2 million to a prison guard to help him escape.
What?
In 1987, Patrick Poland agreed to tell 10 years earlier. He agreed to tell investigators and the families of the victims exactly what happened. FBI agent Frank Mallory, retired, took his confession. Prior to the robbery, the Polands had spent almost a year tailing the van. Oh, jeez. They had knowledge of its route on the mornings when it went to Prescott and delivered the money to the banks in Prescott.
No shit.
The route it took, plus the stops it made, and the times for the stops. A year, huh? Why'd you do that for a whole year? You could have literally done that in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Or a month, however long, if they do it every 2 weeks.
So they were thorough about that, but then the rest of it, there's like,
They were like, we already got the money.
they're like, did you finish the plan? He was like, I don't know. It took me a year to come up with this.
Fucking retarded.
For the heist,
Guys are idiots.
it was decided that both of the brothers' own cars would not be used. We're not going to use our own vehicles. They rented one, which investigators could not conclusively find. They put on an emergency lighting system, a siren that could be turned on with a simple switch, along with the license plate similar to the ones used by the Arizona Highway Patrol, and the department's door decals. Where'd they get those from? Can you, buy those? Jeez.
Who knows?
They readied their tools needed for the heist, including a uniform similar to the one used by the Arizona Highway Patrol, and went on to an ideal spot to wait. Their plan was to stop the van on the pretext of speeding, then go to a remote spot to steal the money. Then go to a remote spot. I'm like, follow us.
Right. A problem with the van's side door latch meant they were delayed for an hour, and the brothers had to wait for that hour. Okay. But when they saw it, they put their plan into action. Worthless information. Michael hid under the dash while Patrick drove the car. After pulling the armored car over, Patrick went to the side of the van and approached the guards and asked the driver to step out. Company protocol indicates that drivers never leave their vehicles between stops, even for police, but for some reason the driver exited.
Oh, wow.
Then Michael went to the other side of the armored car, and the brothers took the guards captive.
All they had to do is leave them there and drive off.
That could have.
I don't understand. They didn't have their faces covered or anything?
Oh, the armored car guy could have done it, just drive off.
Right.
Well, hey, talk to my company. We're not allowed to get out.
Right. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Patrick Poland continued to drive the fake police vehicle while the other was to drive the armored truck. However, when Patrick left, his brother did not follow him. So he reversed it in front of the armored car and then proceeded to see what the hell was going on. He said, what the hell are you doing? By the time he reached the back, Michael was already beating the two guards and Patrick told him to stop. Michael went to get a pair of stun guns, which they used to stun the guards. Oh, jeez. What the hell was he beating the guards for?
No.
So this guy just left? He was like, let's leave these dudes here and let's go.
Well, no, they had him.
Oh, because the guy said a heart attack. Yeah, that's right.
Was he beating him inside the truck or outside the truck?
He said he went to the back.
Probably by the back, right?
Yeah, in the back. They stunned the guards with the stun guns. The brothers drove the vehicles to a remote area near the town of Bumblebee, where they abandoned the truck. Patrick's decision to reverse the car to a spot in front of the van left the tire tracks, which would later be found by investigators.
Yes. In the remote area, after seeing that one of the couriers seemed to have died from the beating, Michael Pollan made up his mind and retrieved a makeshift garrote from his pocket, and strangled the other courier to death. Then they took the money, totaling $293,000, and then took the bodies of the couriers to Lake Mead, where, using a rented boat, they dumped the bodies.
Stupid.
After the crimes, they buried the rest of the money in the desert. The location was known also by a female relative of theirs, but the money had rotted in the years ever since the robbery. Yeah, that's why you never just bury it.
Wow.
For her cooperation, that relative was not prosecuted.
When did they ask her about this?
I'm assuming after
90s?
I'm assuming after he told everything to him.
All right. After his lawyers tried multiple appeals for the death sentence to be commuted to life, due to the fact that the time he had spent waiting on death row had made him insane.
Oh, poor baby.
All of which denied. State of Arizona administered lethal injection to Michael Pollan, June 16th, 1999. He requested for his last meal 3 fried eggs, sunny side up, 4 slices of bacon, an order of hash browns. What's an order of hash browns? Right. 2 slices of whole wheat toast with 2 pats of real butter. 2 individual serving size boxes of Raisin Bran cereal. 2 cartons of milk. Damn. And 2 cups of Taster's Choice coffee.
2 cartons of milk, huh?
This dude want to drink a lot of milk.
Were the little cartons, though, that you get at like lunchtime in school?
Oh, yeah. Those little, yeah.
Also, why only 4 slices of bacon?
And why only 3 fried? Dude, I'd be like, I want 3 dozen eggs.
Right.
I want a mound of bacon. I want a cheeseburger. I want a steak. Give me all that shit. Yeah, right. You don't deserve any of that. You're lucky you got the 3 fried eggs. And they probably spit all over your shit. Pissed in your vinegar.
In the execution chamber, Michael raised his head several times to look at the window into the witness chamber as his death warrant was being read. Last words he mouthed to 2 of his sons and a daughter-in-law who witnessed the execution were simply, "I love you."
Jeez, what a douchebag.
The lethal injection procedure for Michael Pollan was carried out at 3:12 p.m. During that time, Pollan's chest heaved several times as the lethal dose of... During that time, Pollan's chest heaved several times as the lethal dose of medications began flowing. He puffed out his cheeks twice before being declared dead at 3:14 p.m.
Damn, took 2 minutes to do that shit?
It's got to go through your system.
9 months later, despite multiple appeals for clemency, in part due to Patrick Pollan's allocation by, among others, Melvin McDonald, whose involvement had led to the brothers being successfully sentenced to death. All petitions for clemency denied. Patrick Pollan was executed. March 15th, 2000. He was one of 3 people executed in the United States on that specific day. The others were Daryl Keith Rich in California, Timothy Gribble in Texas.
Good for him.
Well, they do.
Is that Dale's brother?
Gribble.
Isn't Dale's last name Gribble in King of the Hill?
Something like that.
Or is it Dibble?
Gribble.
Speaking of King of the Hill, they're bringing that back.
Yeah, all the same people.
Well, except for Brittany Murphy. She did.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
During one of the clemency hearings, the relatives of Cecil Newkirk and Russell Dempsey, the 2 guards murdered, were not forgiving. Newkirk's widow sent a letter to the clemency panel stating that Patrick Pollan had to pay with his life. Geez, usually the victims' families are like, no, nobody else needs to die.
All right.
Camilla Strongen, a Department of Correction spokeswoman, said Pollan spent his final hours with a Catholic priest, receiving last rites about 2.5 hours before his execution.
Wow.
Among the witnesses to the execution were the widow of one of the murdered guards, Lola Newkirk, relatives of the deceased, Patrick's girlfriend, Sherry Jo Christensen, Trailer Park,
right,
and also Melvin McDonald, who was the Arizona state prosecutor who had originally ensured the brothers would be sentenced to death.
Right.
Oh, but then he tried to persuade the Arizona Board of Executive Clemency to commute his sentence to life.
Wow.
Why?
Look at that shit.
Probably because he was the one that told everything.
All right. McDonald goes on to say, I hope that his death will bring the dead men's families peace. He added, Mr. Pollan paid for his crime each and every day for 23 years. I think he had genuine remorse. I felt that justice was done in the execution of the first brother. I felt mercy could have been done today by giving Patrick Pollan life in prison.
Well, Patrick Pollan wasn't the one that originally started all this shit.
Right.
He didn't beat him first.
Unlike his brother, Patrick asked for no last meal, and used what time he had left to express regret for the suffering he and his brother had caused. His last words, if I may, once again, to Newkirk Dempsey families, please accept my apologies. I'm sincere. I'm sorry for the pain and the suffering I have caused.
Everybody's sorry when they're about to die.
I do thank you for your forgiveness. I ask my family to forgive me for the pain I have caused them. I ask all my friends and people who believed in me to please forgive me. And I ask the woman that I love to remember I will always love her.
And I will always love her. Ooh.
The lethal injection procedure commenced. 3:03 p.m. As the lethal chemicals started flowing into his system, Poland's head jerked 4 times. His body shook slightly. His head rolled to the side and his eyes shut. Pronounced dead 4 minutes later, 3:07 p.m. Dang, he lasted 2 minutes longer than the other guy.
All right, look at him. He's like, fuck you, brother.
Look at me. Crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of open and shut pretty much there, dude. They were on them like right away.
All right, I was surprised.
Jeez. I mean, that was even with the FBI.
Right.
Holy shit. What a bunch of idiots these guys were. Holy, they screwed up everything.
The FBI couldn't mess this up unless they lost evidence.
I'm surprised there was no evidence
Right,
lost. But somehow they didn't do their job the first time because remember they found the
Right.
they didn't do the wristwatch thing. But
Right.
they easily could have determined what time it stopped in
Right.
the first trial. These guys are just lazy.
They just looked at it. They're like, look at this. The clock stopped at 10:37. Huh.
idiots.
Case closed.
The guys are
Cold
idiots.
case.
Hey, let's use my own name and let's
Right.
use my
Dumb.
dad's truck. Let's
Stupid.
start beating people.
Oh, my.
Hey, and not to mention, 3 months later, let's have the siren and all the cop shit we use still at my house.
Right.
You guys are dumb. Hey, let's not weigh the bags down. Jeez.
Oh, my. Yeah, that's the most. They spent a whole year casing out the direction, the stops, the tendencies, and everything of this freaking truck. And after that, they're
Literally, the minute that they did what they were supposed to do,
Right.
they
Did-
immediately fucked up.
everything was garbage after that.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't think they were planning on his brother beating the shit out of him.
Well, probably not.
And all that good stuff. But we're like, what are we going to do with him? We're just going to leave him on the side of the road.
I wonder why he started beating them up. I think one of the guards were like, fuck you or something, right?
Maybe that one of the guys started having a heart attack.
Or maybe that, too.
And the guy started getting up.
Maybe
going
that
up.
is true. Maybe because the guy started to have a heart attack.
And the other guy wanted to help him. And the guy said, don't move. And he tried tackling him or some shit. Who knows?
Maybe, but
We went there.
yeah, that was a nice open and shut case for us.
Yeah.
Kind of a short one, but hey, did what we have to do. Interesting nonetheless. Thought they were going to get off for a minute there. And
Yeah.
Nope. The other guy said, nah, we're going to let you guys slide. Quickly, still, 77, 87, 97, 20-something years later, they finally get put to death.
23 years later. That's ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to do it for us here at the Outlaws and Gunslingers podcast. Remember, Manscaped, 20% off and free shipping using the code free true crime. Just true crime, not free true crime. True crime. And yeah, manscaped.com and also patreon.com/bangdang for this show as well as our other shows that we do.
Ad free
And early. Only $2 a month for all that. And our other shows being Battles of the American Civil War and This Week in Sports History. Go look them up on the Bang Dang Network. And we'll be back for next week for yet another murder. Probably another kidnapping murder this time.
spaghetti-o.
That being said, we'll see you next week. We're out of the month of Michigan.
Bang dang.